Yay! How are you all doing out there on the worldwide? Wonderful. Welcome to 2019. Yes, we made it. And now we have the sun in Capricorn, and we will be having a new moon in Capricorn tomorrow on the 5th of January or the 6th, depending where you live on the planet. Yes, so happy 2019. I'm sure I just said that already, but it's so great to be here right now with you all, and I hope you're all doing well. So this new moon is a partial solar eclipse, so the shadow of the moon will be blocking the sun. And so what it's going to do, the sun rules our willpower and our vibrations, our energy, the main part of us. And so certain things will be eclipsed. It depends what house and what area of your chart that this eclipse will be happening. So find where Capricorn is in your chart and you'll see the change. So a new moon is when the sun and moon come together, and as I was saying, it's a partial eclipse. So they have a chit chat, catch up, see what's going on. So even though Capricorn's a very stern sign, very solid sign ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is limitations and restriction, it's like the father figure or somebody in authority. A very strict mother also, or auntie, uncle. So it's a very strict procedure type person. And Saturn rules our bones and the hard parts of our body physically. So as the planets rule all different parts of us, and the signs too. So Saturn rules our bones and our joints and our structure and how we keep ourselves up. Without Saturn, we would be a bit of a mushy mess, actually, with no bone structure. So that's what Saturn rules, and it's the top of the chart. And like I said, it seems like a very harsh sign, likes to work a lot, takes very little rest. Its opposition is Cancer, so they say that Capricorns, their feelings are distant, they have very distant feelings, and can be seen as very distant people. That's because the moon is in opposition to them. But the moon is with them on this day for this new moon in Capricorn. So our emotions will be looking at how we run business, how we keep our structure together, and it also rules our own authority or having issues with authority figures. That might be happening at this time also. So we can look out for that. So for authority figures are people like the government, the structure, and how we restrict certain actions within society so we can produce a working society that works for hopefully all of us. But however, I'm sure things will be changing. Talking about that issue, I went to see my consultant about my sickle cell, and so my blood is starting to stabilize now. Hooray! It's taken like 2 years, not out of the woods yet, but at least I'm out of coma zone, which is great. And it's been quite a battle, but we keep going. And in saying that, so with the structures of society, since we're all in the same grouping, people with sickle cell who have half the energy and half of the blood making cells are now are not seen as anybody different. And so I was thinking about, wow, when are work structures and rules going to change? When is the government going to see that people who have half the energy obviously need a bit more assistance? And I was thinking about this, and I thought, okay, it could be another cause that I can be fighting for, because I already helped to fight the cause for people with sickle cell not to stay in A&E for a great amount of time. It's now cut down between 20 and 30 minutes maximum, because what they were finding was while you're having a crisis, it's obviously hurting all your organs, your liver, your kidney, your heart, and so this is why the survival rate has been so low. Survival rate for sickle cell when I was growing up was 28, then went to 35, and then it went to 47, and now it's at 60. I think it's about 65, 67, something like that. So I said in working practices, in that case, people with sickle cell never retire because they never get to that age. So how are we going to change that? So speaking with my consultant, she said, oh, I'm starting up a group, a local group to you, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to? I was like, wow. And then we can have more assistance in fighting this battle and doing it the correct way, in the way of the structures, having GPs and doctors behind you, people who can speak on a scientific level, which was amazing. So that was something that appeared at this time of the Capricorn sun, how we can change structures within our society, and also it has to be on an individual level, as we can see. So back to the chart. So we'll be looking at our ambitions. Our ambitious will be driving us forward. Also now the planet Mars, which is our drive and our ambition, our everyday ambition, has come out of Pisces, where we might have had a lot of concentration on dreams and wishes, and now it's come into Aries, its own home sign. So it's very driven, very excited. He's at home, isn't he, Mars? So our drive and our passions will be lit, and we'll be feeling much more vigorous, I would say. So for Capricorn, obviously the sun and moon is in your first house. So things that will be changing will be anything personal to you. You can have the will and the power to change things due to the sun being in your house and shining on your own personality, how you present yourself to the world, etc., and what changes need to be made. And we'll have Mars in the 4th house for you. So Mars, you'll have a lot of drive and ambition around the home, sorting out your home life, sorting out your structure and your base. And so that's what we'll be having for you, Capricorn. I'm only going to do for Capricorn because it is their sign, it's their sun and their moon, it's their new moon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the signs separately. So since Capricorn is an earth sign, I've pre-shuffled some cards, and I'm using the Doreen Virtue Fairy Tarot. I'd like to thank my Cancer friend for that beautiful gift that she sent for me. So let's have a look at what the cards represent. So for the earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn, you all got the Princess of Summer. Sensitive, gentle, kind, inexperienced. A new relationship or emotional experience. Invitation to social events. A compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. So this is for the earth signs for this new moon in Capricorn. So Capricorn, like I was saying, you have the 1st house, and the house of Mars is 4th. In your 4th house, it'll give you a lot of drive and passion with your base, and for the sun to shine on that. Virgo, you've got the sun and moon in your 5th house, Mars in your 8th house. So things that may be eclipsed, or relationships that you have with children, or things that you do in a childlike way, and you'll be getting a new growth in that area. And with Mars being in your 8th house, the 8th house is other people's resources. You may have a bit more boost and health with that, a bit more help with that. And Taurus, the sun and moon is in your 9th house. So something will be eclipsed about the way you see higher education, or the way you want to travel forward. You may want to be looking at far distance traveling, but it'll be in a different way than you previously saw. And Mars is in your 12th house, so you'll have a lot of desire and passion for dreams, and how you can bring those ambitions forth when Mars goes into your 1st house. So that's for you, earth signs, the Princess of Summer. Princess of Summer is poetic. She's very fond of writing. She has her perception through feelings. But what you must do at this time is expect social invitations and accept them. You may get some love letters or have a special friend. And there may be some confidential information that people will be sharing with you at this time. So that's for you, earth signs. Okay, and then after the earth signs we have the water signs, and you had the 6 of autumn. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. So for you, Cancer, you have the sun and the moon and this eclipse in your 7th house. Some relationships may be eclipsed out in order to make way for new ones. Mars is in the 10th house, and this is the house of Capricorn, so your ambitions will be given some drive and passion. And the way that you see people, the way you spread yourself around, will be in a very ambitious and active way. So that's for you, Cancer. Okay, for Scorpio, the sun is in the 3rd house. The 3rd house is our thoughts and our neighbours, short distance travelling. So that's the 3rd house for you, Scorpio. So something will be eclipsed on maybe friends that you hang around with, local people. You may be deciding to work in a different area. And Mars will be in the 6th house, so you'll have a lot of drive and ambition for your health and work balance, how you're looking after yourself. Okay, and for Pisces, the Sun will be in your 11th house, so something will be getting eclipsed out of the groups that you hang around with and the ideas that you have about society, so to make space for new ones. And Mars is in the 2nd house now for you, so you'll have a lot of drive and ambition for finance, for values, and you may be getting a little bit of a windfall. So that's for the water signs. And now I'm going to do, okay, so we've done the air signs, and the card for you, air signs, who are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You have the King of Winter, and it says knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, unemotional. Get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking and unemotional relationships. And the other meanings that were with this card was he's a very fair-minded person, the King of Winter, and it's the Swords card in the tarot, and the air, and it's actually an air card. So you have your own vibration helping you along in this Capricorn new moon time. So for Gemini, you have the Sun in your 8th house, so you'll be having new ideas or things being eclipsed out about other people's money, how you use your resources, how you use other people's resources. There'll be issues coming up with that for you, Gemini, for the Sun in the 8th house. And Mars is in the 11th house, so you'll have a lot of drive and ambition to meet new groups of friends, areas that you're interested in. You may join a group with that. Okay, Libra, you have the Sun in your 4th house, and the 4th house is actually the house of home and family. So you may have new ideas about home and family and what home and family looks like with this partial eclipse in your 4th house. You'll have Mars in the 7th house, so you'll have a lot of drive and ambition for relationships, one-to-one relationships, maybe making new relationships and putting a lot of energy into that. Aquarius, you have the Sun in your 12th house, and the Sun in the 12th house is dreams and ambitions. Maybe you'll be changing your mind on that, something you'll be getting eclipsed out to make space for another dream and ambition. And you'll have Mars in the 3rd house, which is for friends, local community, and so you'll have a lot of energy for your friends and your local community at this time. So that's for you, air signs. And fire signs, you got the 5 of Spring, which is a fire card, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Okay, so the 5 of Spring says opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, overly ambitious people. So maybe this is something that you need to look out for. The sign of Capricorn is rather ambitious and very striving, very ambitious sign, likes to get to the top of the chart where they sit naturally. Okay, so for you, so this was, okay, fire signs, okay, right, so you have opportunities to grow at this time, and you need to keep your energies light and look about your goals, think about your goals, keep concentrated on your goals, don't be distracted. There might be a lot of distraction around you, and fire likes to move quickly, so if you can keep on your goal and on your aim, that would be great. So for Aries, you have the Sun in the 10th house, the house of Capricorn, so you'll be looking at career issues, ways to go forward with that, and something will be eclipsed and you may be changing your mind in the area of career. And you also got Mars in your own sign, in your own house there, Aries, so your drive and ambition will be at full force. So we'll have to be careful not to go too dramatic on that one, and siphon the energy as well as you can there, Aries. Mars in the 1st house, I'm sure you know how to use that. And then we have Leo, you'll have the Sun in the 6th house. Sun in the 6th house, you'll be looking at your health and work balance life. and it's a good time to start a health regime or put something else in place. And with the sun being in the 6th house, something will be eclipsed on how you've looked after yourself previously, and a new way will be forming. You have Mars in the 9th house, the 9th house of higher learning, and so you'll have a lot of drive and passion for far distance traveling and higher learning and trying new things. So that's for you there, Leo. Sagittarius, you will have the sun in your 2nd house of finances and values. There may be a way that you make money that will be eclipsed out to make a new way for making personal finance, or for looking at your values, or for what you do value. Mars will be in your 5th house of children and young people. So there may be a lot of drive and ambition to do things with young people at this time, and I'm sure you'll have a fine time with that. Okay, and the card for all of us was the 7 of Summer. Here we go. So I thought I would read this. Right, there are pros and cons to virtually every decision. The situation you're currently in is demanding a choice from you, and procrastination is simply no longer an option. What you decide involves actions that may benefit you physically, emotionally, financially, intellectually, or spiritually. Recognizing that you always have a choice is a great realization about your personal power. However, it also means that you are responsible for the outcome of your choices. The moment to choose has arrived. You could make a list of every possible alternative and evaluate it, or you could ask God and your angels for guidance. However, you must choose. Daydreaming can be a lovely way to get insight into a challenging situation, or it can be a way to avoid action. Make sure that your imaginings serve a productive and positive purpose. Make a plan to put your dreams into action, one step at a time. A fairy allows sunlight to shine through a prism onto a bed of white roses. The roses indicate that his intentions are pure. However, the prism shows that there are many possibilities. Additional meaning: wishful thinking, needing to regain focus, overanalyzing, or too many choices. Receiving guidance. Okay, receiving guidance to detox. So let's keep our authoritative self. Let's keep ourselves in the driving seat, I would say. Let's be in the driver's seat of our own life. Capricorn demands that we take our own authority into a place that is good for us, that will benefit us, that won't drive us into the ground, that keeps us as the boss of our own life. That's right. Okay, weeps. Well, you all have a good one, and hope to see you pretty soon. So enjoy this new moon in Capricorn and see what becomes eclipsed out of your life, and what springs out newly. Okay, you all take care. Thank you once again.